Bossypants, amazingly, absurdly, deliriously funny, according to the Los Angeles Times about Tina Fey's memoir of her life. Tina Fey was born to Jean and Donald Fey in Upper Darby, Pennsylvania. Spending her summers during high school working at a theater with friends, she found her love for writing, directing, and acting. Soon after, she attended the University of Virginia, where she studied playwriting and acting. After college, she moved to Chicago, where she worked as a receptionist at a nearby YMCA until she began working at the Second City Touring Company. The Second City Touring Company is a theater in Chicago which focuses on sketch comedy and improvisation. This is where Tina Fey began her career and met some of her lifelong friends such as Amy Poehler. Continuing her career in comedy, Tina Fey moved to New York City, where she became the first female head writer for Saturday Night Live. The majority of her book takes place in New York City because even after she was through working at SNL, she began writing and starring in 30 Rock. Tina Fey writes this book as a way to show readers that one doesn't need to be extraordinary in order to be successful, even in a male-dominated career such as comedy. Through her use of anecdotes, a very humorous tone, and her abundance of metaphors, Tina Fey establishes an easygoing attitude in which she can casually address the idea of feminism in the workplace and prove how she has overcome sexism. One of the ways in which Tina Fey uses her humorous tone in order to address the idea of feminism is when she states, "So, my unsolicited advice to women in the workplace is this. When faced with sexism or ageism or lookism or even really aggressive Buddhism, ask yourself the following question. Is this person in between me and what I want to do? If the answer is no, ignore it and move on." Supporting her claim about how sexism is being overcome in the workplace, Fey implements an anecdote about how a female cast member was passed over for a role because a male cast member was put into a dress instead, to which she writes, "By the time I left 9 years later, that would have never happened. Nobody would have thought for a second that a dude in drag would be funnier than Amy, Maya, or Kristen." In addition to her use of anecdotes, Tina Fey also implements humorous metaphors throughout the text. When it comes to Lorne Michaels, her beloved boss whom she admires, she includes an entire chapter about the lessons he has taught her over the years. In one of the lessons, she uses a metaphor to praise Lorne for his ability to "get the eggs," in which she is comparing good ideas to eggs and the writers of SNL to egg-laying chickens. Addressing her opinions on body image and Photoshop, Tina Fey reveals that celebrities aren't as glamorous as they are made to be on magazine covers. Using an illusion, Fey conveys the difficulty in zipping dresses at photo shoots by offering her opinion about the assistant. "I'm annoyed that her tiny hands lack the strength to get Pandora's plague back in the box." Not only is this an illusion, but it also helps the reader imagine the situation of trying to zip a dress that is too small by using sensory language. In addition to her other rhetorical devices, Tina Fey implements a very informal diction in order to relate to her readers in a better way. She uses curse words in some situations in order to accentuate her points and to emphasize what she is saying. For example, when she is talking about how stressed she is because she is on SNL as well as 30 Rock all in one day, she says, "By the way, when Oprah Winfrey is suggesting that you may have overextended yourself, you need to examine your effing life." In this case, she chooses to curse to point out how stressed she is. Scattered throughout the entire book, Fey uses sensory language and imagery in order to help her readers better understand what she is talking about. Once, while describing a road trip across Pennsylvania with her family, she says, "So, you nestle in between your baking hot dashboard and the freezing cold door and enjoy the radio's static with occasional fragments of a shouted religious broadcast." Between her use of anecdotes, metaphors, imagery, and other rhetorical devices, Tina Fey effectively conveys her message that being yourself will get you to the top. Even though some people may not recommend this book, such as Nicole Arthur from the Washington Post, and they may write things such as Bossypants is illustrated in large part with extremely unflattering photographs and dominated by a string of equally unflattering anecdotes, I would have to agree with the quote from Los Angeles Times that I mentioned before in saying this book is absolutely hilarious and that I would recommend it to anyone wanting a good laugh.